Have you ever thought about building your own fly rod? You know, that dream of tying your own fly, building your own fly rod, and then catching that beautiful trout in a mountain stream. Well, we're going to go through the tools and materials you need to build a fly rod. This is going to be a 3-part series. We're going to step through the tools and materials this time around. Then we're going to go into building the fly rod. And then, can you save some money building the fly rod on your own? So what are the tools you need to build your fly rod? A wrapping station, pretty critical. Tensions the thread, holds your rod blank in a nice uniform spot in order to apply those wraps. Really nice. I'll have a link to this down in the description. You need a drying motor, something that turns the rod blank nice and slow once you put your finish on. Gives you that nice, beautiful finish. So let's hit the materials you're going to need to build your fly rod. So some thread. So this is your wrapping thread. I'm going to go really simple wraps, just black on mine. Masking tape. This is going to be your friend. Use it all over for marking stuff. A China marker or a grease pen, super important for marking measurements on the rod blank. Epoxy, right? We're gonna glue our grip on, we're gonna glue our reel seat, so some finish. We're gonna use this to cover the wraps themselves. It comes with, which I think is really important, of these syringes, right? You need to be able to measure the finish, accurate 50-50 mix when you're doing that. Mixing cups and some stirring sticks. Go over to a restaurant, get a ketchup containers, right? Get the plastic ones, don't get the paper ones. Some kind of finishing tool, whether it's a brush or I love using this little tool I made. It's just a nail that I put into a dowel. I blunted the end, and I'll use this just to spread that finish on the rod blank itself. You also need a tape measure. Longer is better, but you're gonna need to space out those guides. A file, or this is actually a sanding block. So it's just a piece of wood. I glued some sandpaper onto it just to shape the guide in order to get nice, clean, smooth wraps onto those guide feet. Something to cut the thread. So I'll use both a razor or my fly tying scissors. Use those. A rat tail file. This is a 3/8 inch rat tail file, and I'll put that in a drill. I use this to ream out the grip itself, that cork grip, and then something to clean up. So I like using acetone. It will clean epoxy up really well, but you got to be careful. You do not want to get this on the rod blank. It will strip the finish off. And then some rags or some paper towels will work. So that's the material. So down in the description, I'll have the links to all this stuff in order to buy it if you want to. But I'll also have the instructions and a checklist on my website, guide recommended. Check out that link as well. So what components do you need to build your fly rod? So you need your blank, right? That's the heart of your fly rod. This is a 2-piece, 8.5 foot, 4-weight fly rod that I'm building. It's gonna be a little bit easier because it is a 2-piece. Next, you're gonna need your grip. This is a half Wells grip. Next is our reel seat. I'm gonna go with this black reel seat and a little black end cap. When you order your fly rod blank, you'll usually get what's called a guide spacing chart. On that chart, it's going to have basically the formula for the different guides and your tip top. So here's my tip top. We're going to need one of those. We're going to need various sizes of guides. So this is a stripping guide right here, and then a single foot guide right here. Those will be on that guide spacing chart. You'll also need, it's called a hook keeper. That's our hook keeper. That's gonna go down by the grip on the rod blank. You can hook your fly hook onto that. And then a small finishing ring that's gonna be used to kind of trim out the connection at the rod blank to the grip. So that's it. All right, so there you have it. The tools and materials you need to build a fly rod. So I would invite you to go check out that link in the description. I'm gonna have that checklist on my website, Guide Recommended. It's gonna give you a list of everything you need to build your fly rod. And I'll also have those links to buying a wrapping station if you want, and that drying station as well. Stay tuned. We're gonna go through how to build a fly rod next.